What's up, NFO fans? Doc. Tonight I will be working, so unfortunately we will not have a TaTOYine segment. But I wanted to do one for the week, upload it onto our Facebook page so you guys see what I got. Recently purchased some vintage figures. I'm a big vintage collector. I'm trying to get my set all completed. I pretty much have everything. I just need a few little knickknacks here and there, and I'm trying to upgrade my collection to some better figures. So through one of my Instagram contacts, galactic_toys_plus, Brandon hooked me up with a few things. So first thing, upgraded my TIE pilot. There he goes, minty fresh. The symbols on this one on the top usually get a little dogged up. And also his backside, because he gets shoved into the cockpit of the TIE fighter. So that one is perfect. I also got a B-Wing fighter. Didn't really need him, but it's a better one than I have. But I really needed that stupid little gun that he has inside there, which is pretty rare. Also, the ATST pilot, driver, whatever you want to call him. Again, had this one. This one's a little bit better than the one I have. But I also needed that gun as well for a different figure for the A-Wing pilot. So I pick up those. But the gem of all of this is one of the more popular figures of the Star Wars line. And it is so mint and so fresh. It's a Farmboy Luke Skywalker. Oh my goodness. The amazingness that this figure is brings back a ton of memories. The reason why I picked this one up, I already had one. And here's my Farmboy Luke Skywalker right here. Picked him up in a lot probably 6-7 months ago of the first 12 figures for about $500 for the first 12. And here on this side is the new one I got versus the old one I've had. If you could take a look, both of them are the blonde hair version. There's a brown hair version as well. First thing you can obviously notice is that saber on the left one. My old one is pretty beaten up. Looks like some kid chewed on it, which is kind of gross. This one is absolutely perfect. Got a little bend in it, probably because of shipping, but that's all right. It's not a big deal, really not that noticeable. If you look really closely, it's hard to get a good view. The hands on my old one are a little dogged up. The color of the legs, a little off. You see that hand right there? Not so great. Some discoloration of the limbs as well, which happens in Star Wars figures. I mean, these are from '77, so they're pretty old. This is the Hong Kong variant on my hand here in '77, and the new one is also a Hong Kong variant. Oddly enough, these figures are made of different plants. They stamp them differently on the back of the legs when they put their mark on them. This one has a little dot in the bottom of it, probably an insignia that some kid owned it at some point. And that was his, so nobody would steal it. But so some paint rub on the bottom of the feet over there. There's some paint rub on the back of the legs as well. I was also on the forehead. But this new one I got from Galactic Toys Plus, like I said, is like ripped right out of the package. It's pretty amazing. It's hard to kind of see him on the camera there. I mean, it is minty fresh, perfect. Limbs are super tight, which is what you want. Hands look great. They never can get the hands perfect there. It's always some little either overspray or underspray when it comes to getting it, also on the back of the pants too. But this is about a perfect Luke as you can get when it comes to the vintage collection. He wanted 125. I bought a bunch of other things that he saw from him, and I've also bought a bunch of stuff in the past from him. So he cut me a deal. This figure that probably sold on the pegs for probably $3.85 back in the day. It probably was discounted down to 50 cents. I've seen them at some point. If you got it on the pegs, I paid $110 plus shipping. Don't tell anybody. But it's perfect. It's the gem of my collection right now. Hardly could find one better. That's it. That's TaTOYine this week. We'll talk about a little bit about this on the podcast, but it won't be live. me sitting in front of the figure describing it. It's basically just be me chatting about it a little bit. But I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek as to what we're going to do this evening. My Farmboy Luke, going to go on my display. It's perfect. I love him. Not double telescoping lightsaber, but that's okay. Hey, whatever. Beggars can't be choosers to get those super rare things. But this is great. Again, thanks, Galactic_plus.